When you're asking a question like, what's it like selling Arizona? Not a bad idea to ask the question of somebody who does it every day. Kristen Jonigan, your official title, Senior Vice President
of the Arizona Lodging and Tourism Association.
And there are people right now who are visiting from other states who are saying, "Ah, how tough could that job be?" But sometimes it is tough, isn't it?
Yes, we get to talk about all the fun things about tourism, but our job is to also educate and advocate on behalf of tourism to make sure that the industry is protected. It's a very fragile industry.
Well, we're going to be talking in just a moment about selling Arizona in the summertime, but let's leap over the summer to fall and winter and football season,
yes,
which this year means Super Bowl season.
Absolutely.
All right, is it an easier sell now that you have found out that it's going to be spread out officially all over the valley and so much of it is going to be centered in Phoenix?
You know, Super Bowl people are going to come, and it doesn't matter where it is. It's just trying to create the best experience for them once they're here. The Super Bowl, you don't have to work too hard to get people to visit, but it is great to give them more of a feel of the entire valley because there's so much to see and do here.
You talk to people all over the country, all over the world, don't you?
Correct, yes.
Is the bad press over?
I think it's a stain. I really do. I think it's something that we really have to work on. It's hard when there's a perception of you and it's hard for us because it's not who we really are. We are a very welcoming and diverse and wonderful place, but sometimes people, they just get snippets of information and they create a perception out of that, and that can be difficult, and it can be difficult to erase.
All right, so selling Phoenix and Arizona in general, when it's 300 degrees below zero in Minneapolis,
yeah,
and people have 400 feet of snow on their front lawn, that makes it a little easier, right? But what about the summertime? How do you get these people to come out? And apparently, they're coming out in increasing numbers.
It's a great point. I mean, in the winter, we do a lot of creative advertising, not just, you know, the Office of Tourism, but all the different cities. Scottsdale does a subway wrap in New York City and Chicago. So when it's freezing there, you walk into the subway, which is typically not necessarily a pleasant experience, and they have the whole thing decorated as though you're walking into the beautiful, lush desert. And
oh, that kind of wrap.
That kind of wrap.
Snoop Dogg.
No, they wrap it with imagery of Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Or they have things that they'll hand out at the coffee shops, the little the holders that say, you know, it's the temperature in Arizona.
Everybody sees that would automatically be a real attraction.
Absolutely.
But what about July and August?
In July and August, our message changes for July and August. Our message changes to value because in July and August, for most of the rest of the country, you're talking summer, and when the kids are on vacation, summer prices go up. Spring break is happening right now. You know, you're trying to figure out where to take your kids. Prices go up. So Arizona is a little bit, because of our temperature, an anomaly. The prices go down, and we really have a great story to tell about all the amazing, beautiful resorts, which right now are about $599 a night, and in the summer, it's about $500 a night cheaper. So,
but what do people really want to see? Those of us who have lived here forever make the assumption that it's the entire state, and when people come through here, it's because of the climate. Do they come to see cowboys and Western stuff?
Yes, of course. I mean, the Grand Canyon peak season is the summer. So we have northern Arizona, which is nice and cool. And people, we always say it's a dry heat. And people come from all over the world. In Germany, they actually love the heat. So Germans prefer to be here during our hot summers. And those are the ones going to Tombstone and seeing the cowboys. And it just depends on what everybody's looking for, but there's so much to do in our state. It's very diverse that it's a fun item to sell, and we always have a story to tell.
All right, but if I'm in Australia,
yes,
a great deal of the attention that is paid by tourists and their tourism bureau is to the indigenous people there. Mm-hmm. Well, are we doing that enough with our Native Americans and their lives and their cultures?
I think we do it appropriately. When we're promoting Native American culture in Arizona, that we have to be respectful as the way we do it. There's a fine line between promoting and exploiting. And so many people come to Arizona, and I know I used to work at the Sheraton Wild Horse Pass out on the Native American reservation, and so I'm very familiar. And people come out and they say, I want to see some Indians on the reservation, and where do they eat and what do they do? And he's like, oh, you know, it's an education process, and we want to be culturally sensitive and let people know that we have a wonderful, rich heritage here, but there's appropriate ways to experience
All
that.
right, one more question before we have to wrap this up. What don't we have? You look around Arizona, the United States of AZ, they have every possible kind of geography. But what is it that we don't have that you would love to see here as an attraction?
Well, I was going to say money, but then you said attraction at the end. So, because the more money we have, the more we can promote the state, and that's always our challenge. We don't have a beach. That would be nice. We're close to beaches, which is great. And I think, you know, transportation can be a challenge for a lot of people. We don't have a stellar public transportation system, but we're working on that.
You know, it just occurred to me, this is on KTAR.com. So somebody probably is watching us in Cairo, somebody is watching us in New Delhi, somebody is watching us all over the world. So we're both welcoming you to Arizona, but you better be prepared to not want to go back home. This is What's It Like on KTAR.com.